Good morning, yogis. My name is Daniel. This is Daniel Lee Yoga, and thank you for joining me for practice. Class today will be a 60-minute Vinyasa flow with a focus on binding. And in our binds, that can look like a lot of different things, as far as either using a strap or a prop to help us. You can also just be using your arms in your binds, and we'll be playing around with a lot of different options throughout class. It's also in all levels, so yogis of any experience or level will be more than welcome to find a path that works for them today. So yes, so as far as binds, we'll definitely be utilizing a strap. So if you do have a strap, go ahead and grab that, keep that nearby. If you don't have a strap, you can always use a belt, an old t-shirt I've definitely used before. Anything like that will definitely come in handy. But if you don't have any straps, don't worry about it. You'll still be able to flow through class with some modifications I'll provide along the way. Additionally, if you have blocks, they're always good to have handy so you can keep them nearby for class today. And so why are we evaluating and experimenting with different binds? Well, it gives us a chance to really add an external lever, a different way of really holding poses where a lot of times in our different poses that we hold, we may be struggling to do one thing or the other. We may not be getting the full benefit from it. So this gives us a different and unique way to experience poses and maybe release some of the effort in certain areas, strengthening other areas. So it's just a fun concept to play around with. So have your strap, whatever you have ready, nearby. Just place your blocks off to the side if you have them as well. We'll actually get started in a nice cross-legged seat today. And so thank you all for joining me, Ellen. I always appreciate you signing in. Great to have you in class today. Coney's here to say hi and start with us, so I think we're ready to begin. It's a little rainy this morning, so I hope there's enough light coming in. I think the sun's about to rise up a little bit farther in the sky, so it should get a little brighter here as time goes on. All right, so if you have your strap, go ahead and unwind your strap, your shirt, whatever you're using today, and we'll get started with this right away. So just place either end of the strap in either arm and make your arms about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider apart. So shoulder width would be here, so I have them a little bit wider apart. And if you don't have a strap, just extend your arms out. Imagine you're holding a big beach ball. Okay, we'll already start to open up the shoulders here. So make sure you're in a nice, comfortable seat. Root down through your sit bones, rise up through the crown of your head. And if you already feel like this is challenging to hold here, you can adjust. You can add a little bit of elevation underneath your sit bones. We'll be here for a couple minutes to start class, so make sure you're nice and comfortable and can sit up straight. All right, with your arms extended out, on your next inhale, let's lift our arms up overhead. And exhale, gently release arms out in front. Let's do that 3 more times. So inhale as we lift. And exhale, lower. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Adding a twist this time. So inhale as we lift. Exhale, twist to your right. Again, lower just halfway. Inhale back to center, arms overhead, face center. And exhale to the left. Again, just lower your arms halfway down. Keep moving on your breath. So inhaling through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. And exhale to the left. We'll do that 2 more times each way. Try as you move throughout to have just a little bit of engagement. You're gently tugging the strap away from either arm, engaging the muscles in the arms here. All right, 1 more each side. Exhale as we lower. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left 1 last time. And inhale through center. All right, keep your arms up overhead, adding a side lean this time. So this is very important to keep your ears equidistant from your biceps. So we don't want to move our head first. We don't want to move our arm first. We want to move our entire torso, arms, head all in one piece. So again, really root down through those sit bones. Draw the navel in and up. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, side bend to the right. Again, keep those ears equidistant from the biceps. And the left sit bone is rooted. So if you feel like you're popping up, try and re-root down. Want to maintain that foundation and really create some length in both sides of the body. So avoid crunching into those right side ribs. Really lengthen here. Slight tuck of the chin, elongating through the back of the neck. Hold for one more breath. And abdominal muscles as you inhale, lift through center. Stay here for a breath to reset. And take an inhale to prepare. And exhale, side bend to the left this time. Again, very important. Try to maintain the distance from your ears to your biceps. A nice long spine throughout. Keeping that right sit bone rooted. Also avoid twisting here, just trying to keep your shoulders and your pelvis facing forward. Holding for one more breath. All right, inhale as you lift back up. And exhale, gently release your arms down. Place your strap off to the side. Just shake your arms out a little bit. We're already starting to wake up those shoulders here. Okay, keep your strap nearby, but send your arms behind you. Remember which shin is on top. We'll extend our legs out, come into a bear sit. So with our arms behind us, have your knees out a little bit, ankles out a little bit wider than your knees, feet are flexed. Just starting to open up the hips a little bit here. So your fingers are facing forward. You can lean back on your arms a little bit for a little bit of stability. And now on your inhale, draw your knees in together. And exhale out to the sides. Inhale, draw them in. And exhale out. Keep doing that 3 or 4 more times on your breath. Nice and slow and controlled here. And once you finish your last external rotation with those knees out, draw your knees back in. And then lift your torso up, come back into another cross-legged seat. This time switch whichever shin is in front from when you were first sitting. If you can't remember, it's probably the one that feels the most awkward here. Okay, a little more for the shoulders now. So extend both arms out to a T shape, palms face down, working on our internal and external rotation. Love these here. So this is our neutral position. And when we rotate our arms, we want to rotate from the shoulder socket. So internally rotate by rotating the entire arms so the thumbs come down and the palms face back. Now gently release back to neutral. And we'll go the opposite direction, external rotation. Palms come up, thumbs face back. Now gently release back to neutral. Let's do that one more time. So internal rotation, thumbs down, palms back. Try to rotate from that shoulder socket. And gently release through neutral. External rotation, palms face up, thumbs back. Gently release back through neutral. And release the arms down to your sides. Just shake your shoulders out a little bit. All right, one more time, adding a bent elbow. So extend back out into a T, palms face down. Start with our internal rotation. So thumbs down, palms back, hold here, and then bend both elbows so the backs of your hands come to your low back. Now gently release and re-extend your arms out. Come back through neutral, external rotation, bend both elbows, and so the palms come to the back of your head. Re-straighten your arms, come through center. We'll do that one more time, each way. Internal rotation, bending the elbows, back to the hands come to the low back. And gently release as you extend the arms, come through center, neutral, external rotation, bend the elbows, palms come to the back of your head. All right, gently re-extend the arms. Arms come out nice and long. And release the arms down to your sides. Okay, even just that little routine that we did to start practice is a great thing to do if you work at home, if you're at a desk, and you just want a couple minutes to give your shoulders a little bit of a release. Okay, let's come forward into tabletop. In our tabletop, you have your wrists below your shoulders, knees below your hips, tops of the feet to the mat. Draw that navel in and up to engage the abdominals. Make sure your fingers are nice and spread, wrist creases are lined up with the short edge of your mat. Hips, knees, and tops of the feet are all in one line. Try to firm those outer upper arms in so the elbow creases start to face forward. You can test that by gently bending your elbows. Your elbows should bend back rather than out. So ideally, want those elbows to bend back. All right, re-straighten the arms. Keep firming those outer upper arms in. Slight tuck of the chin, gaze up towards the top of your mat. And move through our cow cats. So on your inhale, drop the navel, tailbone lifts, heart forward, look up. Exhale, reverse by rounding the back, shoulders separate, head hangs heavy, cow pose, cat pose. Gently come back through center and inhale into your cow pose, navel drops, and the heart forward. And exhale, rounding into your cat pose. So keep moving on your breath, nice and slow and controlled. I always like to say to use this as an opportunity to connect your breath to your movement. Finish one more cycle of your cow cat. When you finish that last cat pose, meet me back in a nice neutral spine in your tabletop. All right, in your tabletop. Now, extend your left arm forward and extend your right arm back. I'm sorry, right leg back. Left arm forward, right leg back. Now, option to keep the toes and the fingertips on the mat. Otherwise, left arm up at shoulder height, right leg up at hip height. Flex those back toes, really press back through that right heel as you extend forward through the left fingertips. Keep holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release back through tabletop. We'll switch to the other side. So same options as before. Left leg extends back, right arm forward. Option to keep the toes or the fingertips on the mat for stability, or you can lift that left leg up to hip height, right arm up to shoulder height. Palm faces in either way, thumb up, pinky down, and keep flexing that back foot, pressing through that back left heel. Spin up through that inner left thigh, hold for one more breath, and exhale, gently release back down to your tabletop. We'll come into child's pose, so send your hips back to your heels, gently releasing your forehead towards the mat, and extend your arms out in front of you. Take a couple deep breaths in your child's pose. Make this your child's pose with your knees if you like to maybe have your knees closer or farther apart. Maybe your toes touch, or they can stay hips width distance. Find whatever child's pose works for you. If you're one that likes to set an intention in your child's pose, now is a great time. Just take 2 or 3 more deep breaths here in your child's pose, knowing that as we flow through practice, child's pose is always an option for you to come back to at any point if you need to reground or regroup yourself. All right, one more breath in your child's pose. Okay, we're staying low, but lift your forehead up just a couple inches off your mat or your block. Come into your fingertips. Keep your arms still extended long, and then walk your fingertips off to the right side. Basically to the capacity where you feel that left hip start to raise up. We want to still maintain the left sit bones on the heels if we can. Now once you've moved your arms off to the right side, release your forehead down either to the block or to the mat. We'll have this little side lean in our child's pose. So option 1 is stay here, or option 2, if you'd like, we'll add our first bind. So if you're coming with me, you'll extend the right arm out to the side, internally rotate, bend the elbow, back of the right hand comes to the low back. Now you can stay right here. Your forehead might be hovering with the neck engaged, or it may be touching the ground. And final option, if you want your full bind, try to send that right arm a little farther across. Maybe it tucks underneath that left or on top of that left thigh. And you can open the chest, right shoulder up to the sky. Just keep the neck engaged throughout, slight tuck of the chin. Maybe you turn to look up towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, just remember to breathe, holding here for 2 breaths. One more breath. And if you have your bind, gently release as you extend both arms forward, walking your fingertips back through center. And we'll move to the left side. So walking to the left side of your mat, just to your capacity, releasing your forehead back down. You can, option one, stay here, or option two, extend the left arm out to the side. Internally rotate, bend that left elbow. Place the back of the left hand to the low back. So again, you can stay right here if this feels good for you. Just keep trying to open that shoulder, externally rotate that shoulder socket. Or to come through for the bind, this left arm comes a little farther across. Maybe it tucks on top of that left thigh. I'm sorry, right thigh. And then if you'd like, you can open up the shoulder towards the sky, add a little twist here. Again, neck stays engaged, chin slightly tucked, drawing that left shoulder back. Maybe you turn to look up towards the ceiling, hold here for 2 breaths. One last breath here. And gently release the bind if you have it, extending both arms forward, coming back through center. And then we'll gently start to keep our hips on our heels as we lift our forehead up, walk our hands back, come into our Virasana pose. So if your knees and your feet were out wide or together, try to separate them back to hips width distance and send your hips on your heels, lifting your torso up. You can always place a block in between your feet if you need a little bit of elevation to sit up straight, or if neither of those options work for you, just come into a cross-legged seat. All right, a little bit of wrist work. So let's intersect the fingers. Bring the wrist to touch, elbows close, and start to make your figure 8 or your infinity symbol move in your first direction here. All right, begin to gently slow, and let's move in the opposite direction. All right, slow that down. Remember which thumb is on top. Separate your fingers, opposite thumb. As you re-intersect your fingers, opposite thumb on top now. So wrist touch, elbows in, lift those elbows up, and then start to make your circles in your first direction. It's always good just to show the wrist a little bit of love and appreciation in class. All right, begin to slow. Let's move in the opposite direction here. Okay, gently slow and release. Coming back through tabletop. So lifting your hips off your heels, wrist back underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet to the mat. Let's pitter patter our legs a little bit. So bring the tops of your feet and move them back and forth just to bring a little bit of blood back into those legs. All right, come back to stillness. Come through plank pose. So we'll extend the right leg back, curl the toes under. Extend the left leg back, curl the toes under. Holding plank pose for just a breath here. And then we'll lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You have the option here to take your dog for a walk by adding some movement into your down dog. So maybe you lift one heel and lift the other. Maybe you lift a whole leg up. You can always drop one shoulder below the other. Just add some movement. Just see what feels right, what comes natural to you here. Take 2 more breaths in your movement, in your down dog. And 1 more breath. All right, let's meet back in stillness. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Now inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of your mat, nice and slowly. Come to the top, stay in your forward fold with your feet hips width distance. Now, what we'll do here is you may need your block handy. So make sure first your feet are hips width distance and feet are parallel. Take a block if you have it, you may need it, and place it on its medium height in between your legs. Now with your knees in a gentle bend, release the left palm on top of your block. If you don't have your block, your fingertips or palm can come to the mat in between your feet. Now right arm comes to the right hip. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, lift your body up halfway and start to rotate, drawing the right shoulder up to the sky. Now we're holding here, just adding this little twist, and maybe you start to straighten the legs as you get more comfortable here. Another option is to add this bind here with your right arm. So you'll internally rotate that forearm, bend the elbow, and maybe that right arm tucks behind and on top of that left thigh. Keep opening that right shoulder despite where you are. Maybe you keep straightening those legs. Hold for one more breath. And then exhale, gently release back into your forward fold. Keep the block or the prop if you're using it in between your feet. We'll switch to the other side. So right palm comes to the block or to the floor or fingertips to the mat. Try to have that right elbow to the inside of that right knee. And then left arm to the left hip. Take an inhale as you lift up halfway. And exhale, rotating that left shoulder up to the sky. Again, stay here if this is enough for you. Options to straighten your legs. And maybe you bend that left elbow, sending that left arm across and tucking underneath and on top of that right thigh. Just keep drawing that left shoulder up towards the sky. Maybe the neck turns to look up. Holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release back into your forward fold. Place your prop off to the side if you're using it. Come into a ragdoll pose, grab opposite elbows. Forehead draws down towards the mat, biceps in between the ears. Again, knees can bend as much as you like and gently sway from side to side if you like. Now in that low back to release. Okay, keep swaying if you'd like, but switch whichever forearm is on top. Reclasp opposite elbows. And then meet me back in the center. Release the clasp of your elbows. We'll come up to standing, but nice and slow. So press down through your feet, spin the inner thighs in and back. And as you start to lift up, stack one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly here. No rush. Be slow and controlled as you lift your torso up. Chin is the last thing to arrive. All right, really press down through your feet and inhale as you lift your arms up overhead, palms face each other. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through center and down to the side. So stay here in your Tadasana pose. Make sure you're towards the top of your mat, feet or hips with distance, arms down to the sides. Really press down through all four corners of the feet. Lift the kneecaps and the thighs up to engage the muscles in the legs. Gentle spinning of the inner thighs in and back. You can imagine a block in between your thighs and you're trying to shoot it back behind you. But as you do that, draw the tailbone down, lifting the frontal hip points up into the chest and softening the shoulders away from the ears. Palms facing forward, gentle external rotation in the shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. All right, nice and slow. Let's press down through our feet. Inhale, raise the arms back up overhead. Hold here for a breath. Imagine there's like a beach ball or a block in between your arms. Really draw the shoulders down away from the ears, pressing the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Keep firming the outer upper arms in. Keep all that. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, keep a nice long spine as you forward fold. Hinge forward over your hips. Gently releasing your arms down, fingertips or palms to the mat or maybe to your shins. But let the crown of your head draw down towards the floor as your hips draw up towards the sky. You can have a gentle bend in your knees here. If you'd like, you can begin to straighten to stretch out the hamstrings a little more. And now place your hands to the tops of your shins. Let's inhale, lift halfway, nice, slow, and controlled. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. So our torso is parallel with the mat, chin slightly tucked, shoulders draw away from the ears. Keep spinning those inner thighs in and back, drawing the tailbone back behind you. Hold for one more breath. And exhale, gently release back down into your forward fold, staying here for 2 breaths. Really pressing into your feet. Legs are still nice and engaged here. Maybe begin to straighten. Crown of the head draws down. One more breath. And we'll come back up to standing. So press down through your feet. Inhale as you lift the arms out and up. Torso lifts nice and slow. Arms up overhead. Holding with the arms overhead. Biceps firm in. Soften the shoulders down. One more breath. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides, palms face forward. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Okay, we'll bring that up to one breath, one movement. So press down through your feet. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead, palms face each other. And exhale, hands down through center and to the sides. We'll add on. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. We'll plant our palms. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back into your plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists, holding here for 3 breaths. Option to drop your knees to the mat. But either way, draw the tailbone towards the backs of the heels. Outer upper arms firm into those elbow creases, face forward. Holding here for one more breath with the shoulders over the wrists. And now everyone drop down to your knees. We'll move through a vinyasa. So shift the torso forward, bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the mat. Bring the tops of your feet down, press your hips down, and on your inhale, lift your head up, chest up, baby cobra. Keep pressing the tops of the feet down, firming the ankles in, sending the heart forward, drawing the tailbone back towards the heels, elbows draw in. On your next exhale, gently release, keep the knees down, curl the toes, press yourself up through knees down plank pose, and lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Stay for 3 or 4 breaths in your down dog. So that vinyasa movement that we made, we'll be adding on to it throughout class, but you always have the option to choose whatever vinyasa works for you. You may be more familiar with another movement, maybe through chaturanga. So feel free to take what option works for you. Through our vinyasas, you always have the option to skip them and come right to down dog, or maybe even tabletop or child's pose for a little bit of a break. All right, one more breath here in our down dog. Keep pressing the chest back towards the thighs. And on your inhale, gaze forward, bend your knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat, feet hips width distance. Inhale, lifting halfway, nice long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift the arms out and up overhead, palms face each other. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. All right, make sure you're still at the top of your mat. Feet are hips width distance, arms down to the side. Come into our chair pose. So knees bend, hips back, arms forward, palms face each other. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest. We'll add a little bit of a twist here. Before we twist, make sure your knees and ankles are all in one line, firming these outer hips in, and send more weight into the heels. Make sure if you gaze down, you can see your toes. Now keep a nice long spine here, and on your inhale, you'll lengthen. And exhale, twist to your right. So stay up here. We're just staying here for 2 breaths. Option to extend the arms out, palms face away from your body, but keep drawing that left hip back to keep the hip squared forward towards the short edge of your mat. One more breath here. All right, come back through center, both hands to the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, twist to your left. Again, keep the torso up. Keep drawing that right hip back. An option to extend your arms out, palms face away from your body. Just keep drawing that left shoulder back. Maybe you turn your neck to look over the left fingertips. One more breath. Now exhale back to center, hands to the center of your chest. And gently release into your forward fold. Now inhale, lift halfway, hands to the shins, nice long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back, and lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Now in your down dog, we'll lift the right leg up and back to hip height, flexing those back toes. Now draw the right knee into your chest as the knee bends. Shift the torso forward, step the right foot up to the top of the mat. So right knee over right ankle. Both toes are facing forward. Make sure both feet are in their own lane to start. You're in your low lunge here. Now press down through both feet and inhale as you lift the arms up overhead, high lunge. We'll drop right into warrior 2. So drop the left heel down so that the left toes face the long edge side of the mat, right toes face the short edge side. Allow your hips to open and square the shoulders to the long edge side of the mat. Keeping that right knee bent over that right ankle, pin this right thigh in. Really press back to the outer edge of that left heel. And now we'll reverse our warrior. So drop the left arm down and right arm draws up at a side bend over your left leg. Keep that right knee bent. Now, keep holding your warrior here, keeping that right knee tracking towards the pinky side edge of that right foot. If you'd like, you can add a bind. So with your left arm, internally rotate, bend it, bring the back of the left hand to the low back. Maybe it extends and grabs the inside edge of that right thigh. Just your options here. Holding here for one more breath. And let's lift back up into your warrior two here. Extending both arms out nice and long, settling into your warrior two. Keep pinning this front thigh in and under. Hold for one more breath. And now reverse our warrior again, just for a half breath. Drop the left arm down, right arm up to the sky. And exhale, spiral both arms forward and down to either side of that right foot. Come up on the back left heel. Send the right foot to meet the left foot. Vinyasa through your way. So knees down or up as you shift forward. Bend your elbows, lower all the way to the mat. Tops of the feet down, hips down. Inhale as you lift up through your back bend. And exhale, gently release. Curl the toes under, lifting up all the way into downward facing dog. Come through plank pose first if you need to. Now from your down dog, we'll switch to the other side. So this time lift the left leg up and back to hip height. Bend the left knee into your chest as you shift forward. Step the left foot up to the top of the mat. Both toes are facing forward. You're in your low lunge. Get a little bit lighter on your hands here. Press down through your feet. And on your inhale, lift your arms up overhead. High lunge. Drop the right heel down so the right toes face out. Open the shoulders, square them with the long edge side of your mat as you let the hips open here. So make sure the right toes are facing the long edge side. Left toes are facing the short edge side. You might need to line up your heel to arch alignment from the front foot to back foot, but settle in here into your warrior two pose. Keep pinning this left hip in and under as the left knee tracks to the outside edge, the pinky side edge of that front foot. Holding here for one more breath. All right, drop the right arm down, reverse our warrior. Left arm up to the sky, side bend over that right side. Keep that front knee bent. Holding here for a couple breaths. Option to add your bind. So take your right arm, internally rotate, bend the elbow, bring the back of the hand to the low back. Stay here, or maybe the right arm draws, so it might catch the inside edge of that left thigh. Keep the front knee bent, pressing back to the outer edge of that right heel. One more breath. And now inhale as you lift back up into your warrior two. Settle in for a breath here. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Reversing our warrior one last time. Right arm down, left arm up to the sky. Viparita Virabhadrasana. And exhale, spiral both arms forward and down to either side of that left foot. Lift the back right heel. Send the left foot to meet the right foot. Plank pose. Vinyasa through your way. Knees down or up as you shift forward. Tops of the feet down, hips down. Inhale up into your back bend. Exhale as you gently release. Curl the toes under. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Holding your down dog for just 2 breaths here. Keep pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Heels draw back and down. Now inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Feet hips with distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead. Palms face each other. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. Take a couple deep breaths here before we continue our sequence. All right, already feeling good, already warming up the body. I know I needed to take a little water break for myself. I know we're feeling good. All right, back to the top of your mat, feet hips with distance, arms down to the side. Back to your chair pose. So knees bend, hips back, arms come forward. Now this time, have your block ready and place it in between your feet, just like before. So if you do have your block, place it in between both feet, come back into your chair pose. Now take a nice deep inhale and exhale, hands down through center. One more inhale and exhale, twist to the right again. This time, option to drop your left elbow to the right knee in your twist. Now you can stay right here in your twist, keeping your thumbs at your sternum, or if you'd like, split your arms, bring your left hand in between both feet, either to the block or to your mat, and right arm up to the sky. So you have your twist here. Now left elbow comes to the inside of that left knee. Still draw that left hip back. We're still in our chair pose here. Keep raising that right shoulder, trying to send those left ribs under and through. Neck is engaged, slight tuck of the chin. Maybe the gaze comes up towards those right fingertips. Try to stack the shoulders as you hold for one more breath. And now exhale back into your forward fold. Just stay in your forward fold for a breath here before we move to the other side. Let's reset by lifting halfway on your inhale, nice long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Back into our chair pose. So knees bend, hips back, arms forward. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, twist to your left this time. Keep drawing that right hip back. Release the right elbow to the left knee. Again, option to stay here with the thumbs at the sternum. Or if you'd like, split your arms. Right palm to the block or to the floor. Left arm up to the sky. Left palm rotates forward. Trying to stack your shoulders. Make sure that right elbow's to the inside of the right knee. You can have a gentle press. Right knee draws in as the right elbow presses out. Keep drawing that right hip back. Tailbone draws down, shifting more weight into the heels. Hold for one more breath here. And exhale, gently release into your forward fold again. Hold in your forward fold for a couple breaths here. Place your block off to the side if you were using it. One more breath. All right, let's inhale as we lift halfway. And exhale, gently release. Place the palm, step the right foot back, step the left foot back. Let's lift the hips up and back into our downward facing dog again. Pressing the heels back and down, chest presses back towards the thighs. Let's lift the right leg up and back to hip height again. Flex the toes. Bend the right knee into your chest. Step the right foot up to the top of the mat. In your low lunge, press down through your feet. Inhale as you lift up into your high lunge, arms overhead. We'll drop right back down into our warrior two. Drop the left heel down. Arms extend out. Shoulders square to the long edge side of your mat. Make sure you take a peek at your foundation first. Right toes face the short edge side, left toes face the long edge side. Heel to arch alignment. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Now reversing our warrior again. Drop the left arm down, right arm up to the sky, right palm faces back. Adding your side lean here. This time let's straighten that front leg. So really as you straighten the front leg, press down through that right big toe. Now, option to add your bind. If you'd like, left arm comes behind back of the left hand to the low back, stays there, or moves a little more forward. Maybe it grabs the inside edge of that right thigh. Now, adding a Trikonasana, bound triangle pose. So as you lift your torso up, send your left hip back, and then right arm draws forward. Now, when you can't go any further, you can either release the right arm to the inside or outside edge of that right thigh, or keep extending the right arm forward, palm faces up, keeping the bicep next to the ear. Just keep pressing down through that right big toe, trying to lift that right femur up into the hip socket, spinning the left inner thigh in and back. Hold for one more breath. Now, slight bend in that front knee as you lift back up. Let's release into our warrior two. And reversing our warrior, drop the left arm down, right arm up to the sky. Spiral both arms forward and down to either side of that right foot. Come up on the back left heel. Send the right foot to meet the back foot. Let's drop our knees down, Vinyasa through your way. Knees down or up as you shift forward. Tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale, lift up through your back bend, maybe baby cobra, maybe full cobra with it straightening your arms. And exhale, gently release. Curl the toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Remember, you always have the option to skip your vinyasas, come right to down dog. All right, other side, lift the left leg up and back to hip height. Bend the left knee into your chest, shift forward, step the left foot up to the top of the mat. Press down through your feet, inhale, lift up into your high lunge, and drop the right heel down. Heel to arch alignment, extend the arms out nice and wide, warrior two. You're going to make sure you take a look at your foundation, left toes facing forward, right toes facing the long edge side, and maybe you heel toe this left foot in towards the center so you have heel to arch alignment. Really press down through that left heel, firm that left hip in as the left knee draws out towards the pinky side edge of that left foot. All right, reversing our warrior, drop the right arm down. Lift the left arm up to the sky as you add your side bend here. Now straightening that front leg, pressing down through that left big toe. An option to add your bind. Right arm comes behind, back of the right hand to the low back, stay here, or go a little further by drawing that right arm. Maybe the right hand tucks under that left inside edge of that left thigh. Now keep both legs straight. As you lift your torso up, send your hips back and your left arm forward. When you can't go any further, you can keep your left arm here, or maybe it lowers to your inside or outside edge of your shin, maybe to a prop, or you can keep your left arm forward, palm faces up for a little more of a challenge. Keep pressing down to that left big toe, left kneecap engages and draws up. Keep drawing that left femur up into the hip socket, hold for one more breath. And now gently bend that front knee, lifting back up into your warrior two. Spiraling back, right arm down, left arm up to the sky, Viparita and spiral both arms forward and down to either side of the left foot, lifting up the right heel, send the left foot to meet the back foot, vinyasa through or skip it, knees down or up as you shift forward, bring the tops of your feet to the mat, inhale, lift up into your back bend, baby cobra, full cobra, upward facing dog, curling the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale as we gaze forward, bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat, feet hips width distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. All right, take a couple deep breaths again. We have one more fun sequence we're going to work through. Maybe grab some water as I am for a little bit of a break. All right. All right, so keep your strap handy. Place it up towards the top of your mat. Strap, belt, whatever you're using today. Let's come back to the top of our mat, arms down to the side, feet hips width distance. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. All right, so back to our chair pose, knees bent, arms forward, palms face each other. Send the weight more back into the heels and pin both hips in towards the midline. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. Exhale, let's twist to the right again. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And this time we'll add the option to bind. So as you lower your left arm to the inside edge of your feet, left elbow to the inside of your left knee, your knees can bend as much as you need to make this happen. Now, with the strap, grab it in your right hand, bend the right elbow, and place the back of the right hand to your low back so the strap falls down behind you, maybe towards your left side. This is where you can either stay here, or if you want to try to add the full bind, your left arm comes to the inside edge, grabs the strap in between your legs. Redraw your knees into the center so the knees are over the ankles, and then re-extend your spine. This is a nice, really great way to add a bind here using the strap to aid you, drawing the right shoulder up to the sky. Keep pressing down through the heels, firming the thighs in towards the midline. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the sky. Keep holding for one more breath. And exhale, release the strap to the side, release into a forward fold. Let's reset by inhaling, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Stay low for a breath here. Place your strap off to the left side of the mat. Get ready for side two. So inhale, let's lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold back into our chair pose. So inhale, knees bend, hips back, arms forward, palms face each other. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, twist to your left, right elbow to left knee. Keep pinning those thighs in towards the midline. Now, drop your right arm to the inside edge of both feet. And then right elbow to right knee. Now grab the strap in your left hand. Bend the left elbow as you internally rotate. And then back of the left hand to the low back. Let the strap fall down. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to add your binds, internally rotate, bending the right elbow, grab the strap. So your right arm is in between both legs. You have that elbow to knee connection on the right side. Keep drawing the knees back in so they're back over the ankles. They always want to pop out. And shift the weight back into the heels. Try to create length into your spine by sending the crown of your head forward. And then maybe you twist a little bit more, sending the left shoulder up towards the sky, maybe turning the neck to look up. Let's hold here for one more breath. Keep drawing that left hip back. And exhale, gently release into your forward fold. Strap off to the side. Hold for a breath here in your forward fold. All right, let's inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's lift the left leg up and back to hip height. So starting with the left leg this time. Bend the left knee into your chest. Step the left foot forward to the top of your mat. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift the arms up, torso up, high lunge. And then drop into your warrior two. Left heel drops down, arms out wide, nice and long. All right, make sure your strap is handy. I'll say place it over your right shoulder for now. So back into your warrior two. Option to add a bind in our side angle. So to set up for that, make sure our foundation is set. Left toes facing forward, right toes facing the long edge side. Shoulder square to the long edge side. Keep drawing the left hip in. Left knee draws to the outside edge. Now send the left arm forward till you can't go any more. Release the left arm to the inside of the left thigh. If you're about done today with class, you can stay right here. Otherwise, we'll have the option to add our bind. So to start, right arm internally rotates. Bend the right elbow to the low back. And with your strap, grab onto the strap in your right hand to start. Now, left arm, if you'd like to release, really press down through that right heel and internally rotate, grab that arm in and under the left thigh. Maybe your arms can start to come a little bit closer, but use this bind to really gently press the left knee into that left elbow as the left elbow presses out. Rolling the shoulder up and back. Maybe the gaze turns up to look at that ceiling. I know this is a lot in your quad and your thigh. Just keep holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release both arms to either side of that left foot. Come up on that back right heel. Place your strap off to the side. Send your left foot to meet your right foot. Vinyasa through if you'd like, or just come right into down dog. And from your down dog, we'll set up for the other side. So make sure the strap is still at the top of your mat. Lift the right leg up and back to hip height. Bend the right knee into your chest. Step the right foot up to the top of your mat. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift both arms up, high lunge. And exhale, release the left heel down. Open the hips up, shoulders wide, and broaden into warrior two. So again, grab your strap. Place it over your left shoulder. Make sure you have plenty of slack coming behind you. And rebend into your warrior two. Make sure you have that heel to arch alignment. Pressing down through that right heel, right knee draws out as your right hip draws in. Now send your right arm forward as far as you can. When you can't go any further, right arm to the inside of your right thigh, left arm up to the sky. Option to just stay right here if you want to try to add your bind. Internally rotate that left arm, bend the left elbow, back the left hand to the low back, grab your strap. Then really press into that right heel and release and internally rotate that right arm. Reach underneath that right thigh, grab your strap and reopen up your chest here. So really press that right elbow into the right knee draws in, pressing back through the outer edge of that left heel. Open and try and twist, send the left shoulder up to the sky. Roll the right ribs under, keep the neck engaged, chin slightly tucked. Maybe you turn to look up towards the sky. Holding here for one more breath, remembering to breathe. And exhale, gently release the strap, both arms to either side of that right foot. Come up on the back left heel, place the strap off to the side. Send the right foot to meet your back foot. Last vinyasa of the day. Skip it if you'd like. Otherwise, go through nice and gentle. Tops of the feet down. Inhale through your back bend. Curl the toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. All right. In your down dog, gently shift forward, lower into tabletop. So from your tabletop pose, make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Now, your knees start hip width distance, but move your left knee into the center. So your knees are touching, but your left knee is directly in the center. Now lift your right knee up and send it to the outside edge of your left knee. So we're kind of crossing knees here. Open the tops of the feet out to your capacity. So knees are in the center, feet are out to the width of the mat. And then start to send your hips back towards your heels. Lifting your torso up as you walk your hands back. Get your blocks ready in case you need them for a seat, but we're trying to see how comfortable we are sending our hips back and sitting up into a seat this way. So our hips should be open, nice and open here. And as you send your hips back, your knees are crossed. So your knees may fly up, that's fine. You can sit on a block for a little bit of elevation here. Just get nice and steady. And if this just isn't working for you, just come into a Sukhasana, a cross-legged seat. This is the bottom version of our Gomukhasana, so we'll add the arms to it as well. And come closer to the center here. All right, so with our left knee crossed over our right knee, let's extend both arms out to the sides, palms face forward, and then let's internally rotate the left arm, externally rotate the right arm, bend both elbows, grab your strap if you need it, and then back of the left hand comes to the low back, palm of the right hand comes to the neck. Here's where if you need your strap, you can place your strap in between both hands and use that as the connection to draw your hands a little bit closer together. If you don't need a strap, maybe your fingertips can clasp. But either way, your chest most likely is popping out, so try to draw the navel in and up. Let's hold here for a couple breaths. So again, left knee is crossed over the right knee. Left arm is down, right arm is up. You can gently press the back of your head into that right forearm. But just try to create a nice long spine. So draw the tailbone down, lift those frontal hip points up towards the front bottom ribs. Pressing the shoulder blades into the back, keep broadening through the collarbones. Holding here for one more breath. And gently release the arms from out in front of you. Come back through to tabletop, back up on the knees, releasing the legs, back in through tabletop, and we'll switch to the other side. So have your block and your strap ready if you're using it. Bring the right knee into the center. Left leg draws up to the outside so left leg to the outside of the right knee. Feet come nice and wide and gently send your hips back. You might feel a little bit different here. You can have your block ready if you plan to sit back on your block. And then once you're in a nice comfortable seat, well, this may or may not be comfortable, but maybe it's just a pose. If it's a little too much for you, just come into a cross-legged seat. All right, grab your strap in your left hand, extend both arms out. This time we'll externally rotate the left arm, internally rotate the right arm, bend both elbows. So palm of the left hand to the back of the neck, back of the right hand to the low back. And then grab your strap if you're using it. Use that to keep drawing your hands in a little closer. Elbows draw in. Really try to draw the right elbow down and the left elbow up wherever you are. So either using your strap or not. Maybe your fingertips clasp. Again, try to draw the navel in and up. Create a nice long spine. Avoid that arch. Draw the tailbone down, lift the frontal hip points up. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales. All right, gently release the strap or the clasp of your fingers, arms out to the sides. Come forward back onto your knees and your hands, nice and gentle. Release the intersection of your knees back to tabletop if you need to. Place your block off to the side. Let's send your legs out to the side. Come into a seat with your legs out in front of you. All right, with our legs out in front of us, arms down to the side. Send your hips up closer to your heels. We'll gently lower back onto our spine. So wrap your arms around your shins or your thighs. Gently roll back onto our spines. And then draw the knees into your chest. Give them a nice gentle squeeze. Now keep the knees bent. Release the bottoms of the feet back to the floor. Knees and feet are hips width distance with the ankles underneath the knees, setting up for bridge pose. So with the arms down to your side, press your feet down, press your arms down, and on your inhale, lift your hips up, pelvis up, chest up, bridge pose. Really press the triceps down and under. Send the tailbone towards the backs of the heels, and spin the inner thighs in and down to keep the knees over the ankles. Holding here for 2 more breaths, maybe lift a little bit higher. 1 more breath. And gently lower from the top of your spine, middle of the back. Low back is the last to arrive. Let your knees fall into touch. Separate your feet out to the width of the mat. With your arms out wide, gently let your knees sway from side to side. All right, next time your knees are off to the right side, stay there. Spinal twist here. Option to place and lift the right ankle and set it on top of the left thigh, left knee. Extend your arms out to a T shape or a field goal pose, palms face up. And final option to turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. Just allow your body to soften here. Begin to start to find ease in your postures as we settle down in our practice. All right, let's turn our neck to look up back towards center. Keep your arms wide. Release the ankle from on top of the knee if you have it. Bring the knees back up through center. Feet are wide. And then let the knees fall off to the left side. So place that left ankle on top of the right knee or thigh if you'd like. With the arms nice and wide, turn your neck to look over those right fingertips. Make sure that right shoulder is nice and rooted. Just take 3 slow, deep inhales and exhales here. All right, gently bring your gaze back up through center. Release the ankle from on top of the knee. Bring both knees and feet back to hips width distance. Let's draw the knees into our chest. Give them a nice gentle squeeze. And now lift your shoulders and the back of the head off your mat. Let's squeeze everything together. So we'll squeeze into an egg shape. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, release. Extend the legs long, extend the arms long overhead. Point the toes away from the body, extend the fingertips nice and long. Full body stretch here. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, release. Keep the legs long. Send the arms down by the sides. Palms face up. Let the knees and the feet fall out to the side. Let's settle into our final pose of practice, Shavasana. A time to release. Time to soften. A time to find peace. Always have the option to soften your eyes or close your gaze completely as you settle in to stillness. If you feel any last little bits of tension in your body as you soften, try to send your breath there. Ease any muscles in your face and your jaw. Soften your eyes, let them fall back into the sockets to begin to bring your gaze internal. Now let's begin to bring some awareness back into your body. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes, rotate your wrists and your ankles. Switch directions in those rotations and come back to stillness for one last breath here on your back. Now gently draw your knees into your chest as you roll over to one side of your body. Gently let your arms rest on top, knee rests on top of your bottom. Stay for a breath here on your side. And now try to keep your eyes softened or your gaze closed as you use your top arm to press yourself up to a comfortable cross-legged seat to complete your practice. And in your cross-legged seat, you can rest your palms on tops of your knees. Palms can face up, or bring your hands into the center of your chest. Let's all take a nice deep inhale in together. Through the mouth, exhale. Thank you for joining me for your practice today. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in each one of you. Thank you. Peace. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for showing up to practice today. did a great job. I hope you had some fun exploring different ways to deepen into your poses with the binds. Maybe you felt some different sensations. Maybe you have some challenges. You might have things you want to work on now, or things you just want to be proud of. Just as showing up on your mat is something to be very proud of today. So I want to thank you all so much. If you ever have any questions, you can always feel free to let me know. Ellen, namaste to you. Thank you so much. I always appreciate your energy and your consistency in the classes here. It's really grateful to always have your presence here. So yeah, if you ever have any questions or suggestions or comments or whatnot, you can leave them in the chat, in the comments of the video, and in the video description are more ways to reach out to me. So I hope you have a great rest of your week. Next class will be next Wednesday at 7 a.m. It'll be our first class of spring, so I know a lot of us are ready to move on from the winter. So let's welcome spring next week in class. So I'll see you next time, whatever that may be. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Daniel. Peace.